You and your dad, you would be hard-pressed to find someone in Western civilization who hasn't seen your work.
Wow.
He said, do you have any idea how much I would kill for that kind of exposure?
Ryan, Mike, Roundy, the Roundys. Welcome to A Filmmaker's Journey.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming in, you guys. Luke Johnson introduced us. Obviously, we've met once before, but it's been a very long time.
Right.
Happy to have you guys in and excited to hear about your guys' journeys. And one's longer than the others, just guessing. But I just would love to get a little bit of an introduction from each of you, and we can start with you, Mike.
Okay.
Just who you are, just your name, who you are, and what you do for a career.
My name is Michael Roundy, and I do movie pyrotechnics special effects.
Amazing. And then Ryan.
I'm Ryan Roundy, current owner, along with my dad, of Roundy Special Effects. We have prop shops, we do special effects, and we try to supply equipment to the Utah film industry.
So fun. And that's something I didn't mention. He's your dad.
He is my dad.
Yeah.
And so naturally, you guys went into business together.
Yeah.
How long, I guess, have you been working for your dad? And then we'll position that to you, Mike, and have you tell me how long you've been doing this.
First show I worked with you on where I got paid to be there was 1994. Here Come the Munsters, 2-hour TV special for Fox. I was 16 years old.
Oh, cool.
And then I got to work with you a few more times. When I graduated high school, I got to work with him on 6 Days, 7 Nights with Harrison Ford and Anne Heche in Hawaii.
Way cool.
Then I took some time off to do a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and do some college at UVSC. And then I got back into film with him again.
Awesome. So I went to UVSC. The last year it was UVSC. And then my sophomore year it turned to UVU.
My degree is UVU.
Oh, cool. So you were there probably as that transition happened as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I also went there, but back then it was called Utah Technical Center.
Even better. That's wild.
That goes back to 1967, I think.
Really? And did you go to school to be in special effects, or was it like?
No, there's no schools for what we do.
I imagine that you kind of
can
blazed
get all
the
the
trail.
trades that combine it, but there's no actual school I know of.
Did you, when you got started, I guess let's take that question to you, like when did you get started and how did you get into it?
I was working locally and doing different jobs and working at Geneva Steel.
Yep.
And it was getting ready to shut down. That's when we had when it was closing, and Kennecott was shutting down for a while, and a lot of stuff going on. So there was just no work.
Yeah.
So my wife was from California and lived next to some of the all-time greats, special effects people.
Okay.
And actors, actually.
Really?
She grew up neighbors with Bob Denver, Gilligan from Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and a bunch of effects guys.
Yeah, she went to school with Kurt Russell and Travolta. Was it John Travolta?
I think so.
Really?
And we're in her high
So
school.
she was connected.
Thousand Oaks High School. But so she kept telling me I had quite a few talents. I come off of a farm in Idaho, at 5,000 acres, and I've always grew up just mechanically inclined, building, welding. I was taught when I was 12, 13, 14 years old how to do a lot of this stuff. And I was always very, very well mechanically inclined. Very lucky to be.
Yeah.
And so that got me in. I've just known how to build and figure stuff out.
Way cool.
And I've always been able to do that. So my wife could tell me, you need to get into special effects. And I said, I'm not going to move to California. And when it got bad, we went to California.
Yeah.
And so my wife is the one who actually got me in. So.
Really? So, and how did you two meet?
Me and my wife?
Yeah, how did
we met
you?
on a blind date in 1977.
Okay. And from there, that's when obviously she was connected to the industry a little bit.
Yeah, a year later we were married. Well, she knew people.
Yeah.
She was up here going to BYU. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it just, she knew people that could try to get me in, and they won't hire you if they don't know you because they don't know what talent you have.
Right.
So we went to California, and I got an interview, a local gentleman in our church there, Bob
Willard,
introduced us and to Roger George Special Effects, and they hired me as a maintenance guy, and I worked there for 8 months and built a couple of big machines and stuff wind machines that could do 101 mile an hour wind,
Wow.
454 Chevy powered kind
Yeah.
of thing. And started getting a reputation. And I was there about 9.5 months, and he kept promising me more pay, but he never did. He kept me in the shop at $6 an hour.
Yeah.
So that was in '85.
Okay.
So so finally I couldn't support my family. I had 3 kids and one on the way, and so I gave him my notice and was supposed to go to work. And Bob and working there at a special effects rental house, you meet a lot of effects people come in and get equipment
Right.
and get to know you. That's how
Yeah.
you finally get known. And then by the stuff you build, you get to that point to where hey, we could really use you,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So then I got a job. Bob hooked me up with a company that was going to do production, that was going to do aircraft carrier movie.
Yeah.
But their storyline, they rent aircraft carriers, for a movie, a lot of money, but
Yeah.
they didn't like the storyline, so they said no. So they decided to build their own carrier platform in the desert, full size.
Wow.
So I got a job to go out and help and fabricate that. So I gave 2 weeks notice, and quit Friday. Monday supposed to go to work. Monday morning I get a call, and they canceled the project.
Oh no. Perfect.
And about 2 hours later, I get a call from Special Effects Unlimited, who is a competitor to Roger George Special Effects, offered me $15 an hour to come to work for them just to manage their maintenance department.
Way cool.
And so
like, when you guys say special effects, a lot of people nowadays might think, computer generated or something like that.
AI,
I would love to just get like a definition of what you guys do, because when I worked for you, we were doing explosions, and that's obviously a special effect. But then you guys are building things, you're rigging things, you're doing kind of just like anything. Not what's the word when it's
Mechanical.
fake versus
practical.
practical. That's the word. You're doing a lot of practical effects. So just how about you just give me a definition of like what you guys do so that people listening can understand the full.
We cover anything atmospheric,
Okay.
And that's probably our bread and butter. Wind, rain, snow,
Got it.
anything weather related.
Fire.
Cool.
We cover pyrotechnics, which is fire. That could be anything from a campfire on set to explosions to burning down a building, to squib hits on actors and things like that for bullet hits. And then anything mechanical on set. If it's moving, we spent half of Star Trek making doors open and close automatically.
Cool.
I don't remember how long you spent building those turbolift doors, but
About a month and a half to build just a set of the doors on Star Trek were half curved,
Yeah.
and they were glass and wood, and the glass was a half-inch thick, 3 feet wide each one, 7 feet tall, and everything on Star Trek, a door when it opens, it doesn't go like an elevator.
Yeah.
It's shoot,
Yeah.
So I had them build these doors where they would open instantly and close instantly, but if the glass edges hit, they shatter. So I had to design a system, air system would go real fast and stop it just before it hit.
How much time are you given to do something like that? Because obviously they're probably like, we need
I
this
think-
yesterday, but
well, they had a little bigger budget than most shows.
most of them
But-
for sure.
Yeah, our
Star
budget
Trek.
on that was huge.
In fact, I don't think we had a budget on the first one. I think the producers just told us make J.J. Abrams happy.
Really?
The second one, we had a
Wow.
massive cut in our budget.
Yeah.
Because they knew they had the ticket sales from the first one.
Hmm.
But the first one, we were pretty free reign.
They made a lot of money on it too, though. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so I think it was about 5 or 6 weeks working on it to perfect it. When originally they started building, I said, okay, this only has to work 7 or 8 times, maybe a dozen times. Just make it good enough to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, no, that's not going to happen
Yeah.
because they always, every time we build something really cool, they use it over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
They ended up using it for 3 of the movies. They ended up using it, and then they would move it to different sets, like different levels in the ship.
Yeah.
So it was the same door. They got in and went left. Then when they got down, it would open and do the same thing. So we used it, I don't know, thousands of times.
Wow. That's
So
cool.
we built it, and it's still, to my knowledge, it still works today.
That's amazing. So is that like anything else as far as what you guys do that you want to quickly touch on? Like it's
Let's
jack of all
see.
trades. Anything really fun and cool? You guys
There's a
have
lot of
imagination.
crossover.
Yeah.
Like we just finished filming a horror slasher film called Slay Day, and a lot of the makeup effects was handled by makeup. But then if blood was ever spraying or flying, or if the blood was moving in any way, that was us. And then making harnesses that the axe could hit and attach to, and the guy gets hooks slammed in his side and yanked around.
So you guys are with
We built
stunts
those
as well?
harnesses and all
Cool.
that to work with stunts.
Yeah.
There's crossover with us in set dressing. Snow. Some of it's them, some of it's us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gray areas too, but it mostly comes down to if anything's moving on set mechanically.
Yeah.
It's us.
So are you guys mostly like features, or are you in TV shows, or I guess what is the world like these days for you guys?
Go ahead.
It's everything.
Yeah.
We do commercials, we do TV shows, we do features.
Cool.
Just in this last year, we did Rush with Jake Van Wagner and Jeremy Prusso,
Cool.
which was a World War II movie where we had
You
to
showed me
shoot a
that.
plane out of the sky on a gimbal, and
Yeah.
mortar shells in fields and bullets going off and smoke everywhere. And
Has
that
he
was-
released that yet?
Not yet.
Okay, because he showed us some screen grabs from that, and he's like really proud of it.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
There's a few moments in your career where you sit back and you just go, this is why I got in the industry.
So
And
cool.
that was one of those movies for me.
That's amazing, and that's how he
was-
spoke about it too. It's like it was kind of one of his things that, like, obviously it's a passion project, and him and Jake, and he was more involved in directing, which was fun, and so he's kind of finding that new chapter for him,
Right.
which is fun. That's cool. I didn't realize you guys were on that.
Yeah.
Or did he tell me that in the podcast and I've just forgotten?
He gave us a shout out,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yes. That's right, because I
But-
wasn't sure if it was that or it was in another area that we had
Right.
spoken.
So we did that, and then we did Homestead for Angel Studios, and we did Slay Day, which was a horror slasher film, and then
The Train Dreams.
Train Dreams was last year, but it came out this year, and we're actually really proud of Train Dreams.
You guys have a very massive list of movies. I had Joe Girard, and we talked about 127 Hours.
Yeah,
Gosh, yeah. Dances with Wolves.
that was him.
Wow.
My
That's
first
amazing.
big feature.
Yeah, that's really
Actually, I
cool.
was on the set of Down Periscope when I was 16.
Really?
Marty Bresnan, who my dad was working for, was filming that, and I went to work with him on 6 days. Here Come the Munsters, but they were just down the road from us, and so when Here Come the Munsters didn't have anything going, we'd go work for Marty on Down Periscope, and that was probably my first big movie.
Yeah.
And I was only on it a little bit, but very
That's
fun
awesome.
show.
I feel like we
Envy, I
could
did
do
that.
this podcast for way too long talking about all the stories. I'm excited to hear about some of them.
There's, yeah, I actually have to go to my IMDb to remember what I worked on.
Yeah, I'm
I've
sure.
just done so much.
And that's where I'm getting with this podcast. It's like 50 episodes in. It's like I have to remember
Yeah.
where's what.
And then
but
as a company, we really have tried to make sure that Utah has the equipment it needs to compete with Hollywood.
right.
And so like 6 Days, 7 Nights just passed by. Or not 6 days, I'm sorry, I keep saying that. Saints and Soldiers just passed by. That was probably one of our first Utah films.
Really?
Where we really started trying to focus on giving Utah the equipment it needed to shoot quality stuff effects wise.
Right.
And that was with Ryan Little and Adam Abel, and we absolutely loved being on that one.
Very cool. Ryan Little, I'm trying to get him on. He's interested. He's just busy.
Yes.
He's always been doing something. But I want to, obviously, this is my experience with you guys. We worked together on a Supertramp film out in the desert, and you guys blew things up. I'd love to kind of talk about that just for a second, and I want to understand, because that's probably more of the wow factor when it comes to what you guys do, like blowing things up, right? And then once we look at this, we can also talk about any like massive projects that you guys are most proud of before we start getting into your journeys.
There it is.
But
Oh,
this
there it
shot
is, yeah.
was really cool because we did it in one take. And
We did a lot of those in one
If I
take.
remember
I know, we had
right,
to, right?
we planned on 3 days of filming, and we got it in 2.
Yeah,
I remember Devin was very happy about that.
yeah. Because you guys just like nailed all the explosions. But yeah, it was so fun. So talk about, obviously there's the fire explosions, but then there's the more of the poof explosions.
We use those more closer to actors so we don't burn them.
Yep, that makes sense.
And then sometimes you can do a long lens and put the fire just behind them, but have them further enough forward that it looks like it's right on them.
Right.
So you can get that nice. And then this brings back a lot of memories.
I was going to say, it's probably bringing back all the memories. Cause
yeah, that was, we did that explosion on that. The stunt guys did a cable jerk on her.
Yep.
Yeah, stunt team on this was phenomenal as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So fun.
So this one, when he first contacted us, we had to pre-make a lot of we call them lifters because it doesn't raise any red flags, but it's wrapped black powder that lifts the dirt up in the air.
Okay.
So we had to pre-make all of our lifters for this. And that's a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to wrap them. And if I remember right, we had something like 150 or 200 lifters wrapped for this, or that we were planning on wrapping for this. And we don't like to wrap them too far in advance because we don't want explosives just sitting there, for long periods of time. So we usually do it like the day before or something.
And then that one you just saw where I'm running them going off,
Yeah.
those are little pockets of metal we build bury them in the ground.
Uh-huh.
The wires going to them so that when they go off, they go straight up and they don't hit them.
Yeah.
But they can be fairly close to those.
This one, when they contacted us, they said 8/9. We're filming on 8/9.
Okay.
I went, okay, August 9th.
Yes.
We're filming this on August 9th. So on the 8th, we're going to get together. We're going to wrap all our lifters. We'll be ready to go. And on August 7th, I get a call sheet for the 8th. And I realized he meant the 8th through the 9th.
Yes.
And we hadn't wrapped
You have no
anything because we wanted to do it the day before. So I called every effects guy I knew of, retired, and got them at our house, and we had an all-night wrapping party, wrapping the lifters for this day.
Remember, it took us a whole day with about 7 or 8 guys wrapping to get all these made.
No way. Yeah, that you guys. I mean,
We don't
you guys,
tell anyone that.
No, you should.
You don't say, "Hey, your
course not.
pyrotechnicians are really tired today because they didn't get any sleep because they made a clerical error." But
And you don't want to have everyone wondering if you're too tired to be blowing things up.
There's so much prep goes on behind the scenes.
I
But
bet.
we sent some fresh guys along too, just to make sure.
Yes,
But
of course. The one scene at the very end is probably one of the shots that I'm most proud of.
That
'Cause I
little
ended up,
guy fell off the wall. Remember that?
yes, and they caught him, and we didn't realize there was a guy down there.
Yeah.
He fell off the wall and
Yeah,
just
he went
happened.
down for safety.
It was Braxton, the guy behind him, that ended up being down there and just happened to catch him. It was crazy. But one of the shots I'm most proud of is right here at the end. And it's really the one that we really were like, okay, this is the shot. It's got to be done right, because I'm doing a wraparound with the camera as all the bombs are going off. So obviously there's that one. I think we may have gone past it. But that shot right there is
That's beautiful.
amazing.
That turned out really good.
Okay, keep
you
going.
always have to have your iconic walking away from the explosion and not looking
Always.
scene.
Here it is. Yes, so just go back a little bit more right here. But yeah, the timing of this, obviously we had all these different explosions going off in camera, so it made it look like there was more than one going.
I had one of those barrels set up with my nail board on it, so I was real close to what we were doing, so I could time it and fire each one when everybody was safe.
Yeah. It just seemed like this shoot it stands out in my memory, obviously. So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. And then
we were prepping for Yellowstone when we
really?
did this.
That's
and
so cool.
I had we had our partner up from New Mexico, Warner Handline, who right now is working on Pluribus down in New Mexico. And he also did Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And back in 2008, we went to New Mexico with him to set up shop down there. And he's been our partner ever since. But he was up here to help us with Yellowstone. And so we had him with us on this day too, which was very cool because he's just top grade.
That's
phenomenal
amazing.
Effects guy.
Yellowstone's one of my
started out in
favorite
the
shows.
business together.
Go ahead. What was that?
I said Warner and I started out in the business together.
Really?
So we've been friends for 40-something years. Yeah.
That's so cool. Yellowstone's one of my favorite shows, like by far.
We did season 1, and it was an amazing show, and it put me in the hospital with an ulcer. And so we chose not to go back.
Straight stress or just
straight stress?
Really?
It was a highly stressful
and working
show.
with Kevin Costner?
Oh, Costner's fine.
Yeah.
I went on to do Horizon with Costner.
Cool.
Love Kevin Costner. But I think the problem was they were taking on a lot.
Yeah.
And Taylor Sheridan, who is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, he is.
He was the writer and the producer and the director, and he directed every episode. And a lot of times we had questions and we couldn't get answers.
Yeah.
And so something really simple, like there was a scene where, I forgot his name now, one of the characters is out there shooting. Luke Grimes is out there target practice shooting. And we said, okay, what's he shooting at? Is he shooting at paper targets? Is he shooting at beer bottles on the fence post? Is he shooting at, paper plates? Or what's he shooting at? And Taylor was just like, I can't think about that right now. Ask me later. I'm focused on this. And so we tried several times to get any kind of answer, and he was too distracted. We couldn't get an answer from him if we got FaceTime with him at all. And when we finally got out there on the day, we had like the type of targets you'd have at a gun range with a silhouette of a person that were pre-squibbed. We had somewhere he's a good shot, somewhere he's a bad shot. We had paper plates that were squibbed, some good shot, some bad shot. We had breakaway beer bottles that we could put on a fence post.
So you just have all these different
So we had all these options. And we get there, and if I remember right, he says, how about we shoot a watermelon? See that explode. And we're like, we don't have one.
We didn't
get. Several $1,000s worth of equipment, not counting time.
Yeah.
And so they got more organized as things went.
Yeah.
But in the very beginning, it was incredibly chaotic.
Yeah.
And the stress of just trying to keep up with that.
Because that was his first real show that, I mean, I guess there was.
We did Wind River and Sicario.
Sons of Anarchy too.
Dad did Sicario, with him, but he was writer on Sicario.
Yeah.
Wind River's first one he directed, and that one went really well.
Loved Wind River.
Ryan coordinated the effects on that one.
Okay.
The final shootout was 93 squibs across how many actors? Like 10 actors in one take.
That
was crazy.
It was a 6 and 6.
I can't remember.
I thought it was 7 people on each side, or 6 people on each side.
Right, but not all of them got squibbed originally.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
my brother-in-law was one of the guys that didn't have lines as a shooter in that shootout.
Okay.
Mason Davis.
Yeah.
So, gosh, you guys have done everything.
I think we killed him a couple of times.
Yeah.
I remember when we were on the set the first day Graham Greene walked on set. He remembered me from working on Dances with Wolves.
Wow.
From '89 to when I was
very cool guy. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Pretty cool. So.
This is really fun. You guys have done so much. And I want to just kind of talk about, we probably should start with your journeys to kind of I know we kind of talked about yours coming up. Where did we get to on that? It was like you started having kids, you got this first gig.
Working at Effects Unlimited.
Went to Effects Unlimited and worked there for a couple of years. And then same thing, they kept trying to hold me back.
Yeah.
For less pay, and I wanted to be an effects person.
Yeah.
That's why I got into the business. So finally they sent me out and I did Dances with Wolves. Then I came back, and then they needed a boiler operator, and I had boiler's license, and I built a big boiler for Effects Unlimited, and they needed it to go to Chicago to do Backdraft.
Okay.
So I hauled it out, and they got there. We don't have a boiler operator. Can you do this? And I'd been trying to get in the union. I couldn't get in, and they called the hall and says, if you anybody there with the boiler's lights can operate this. And there was one person, and they said, well, who's out there that's running it? He said, Mike Roundy, but I wasn't in the union yet. I couldn't get in.
Oh my gosh.
So, and back then you had to work 30 days consecutive to get in. And at 29 days, they'd lay you off, then bring you back 2 days later, and you had to start over. That happened many times with me.
Oh my gosh.
So finally, she says, who's doing it? It's Mike Roundy. And the person says, oh, we'll let him have it. And so I got in the union on Backdraft as a boiler operator, and then I ended up doing all the pyro stuff, second unit stuff and fire stuff and on Backdraft. But
you were just there, you're available. It's like, all right, give them your thing. And that was would you consider that like you're in? Like
that was in 1990. I think it was 1990 when I worked on that.
Okay.
So that's when I actually got in the union.
Got it.
And then then you can work on all the big shows, because you can't get in if you're not in the union.
Right. And was this in California?
No, we shot that in Chicago.
Okay.
The whole movie was shot in Chicago.
And you were living in Utah at this time still?
No, we were living in California at the time then.
Gotcha.
Family moved down there. We were staying with, her parents had a guest house on their house, and we were staying there.
Yeah.
And paying rent for, to be there. And then it got to the point where I was always gone on features.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
We went back to Utah in '94. He was on Waterworld. We hadn't seen him in like 15 months, and we figured we don't need to stick around California. It doesn't matter either way. So
he's not living here.
My wife and I bought our house a year. We bought it together a year before we got married, and so we had our home already, and then we leased it while we were in California, and then leasers moved out, and Becky and the kids moved back while I was out on a movie. So,
one question I like to ask is, when you started going down this route, I like to understand, like, was this a path for you early? Were you like, I want to be in the movies? What kind of drove you to kind of pursue these opportunities, I guess? Did it just kind of happen and you fell into it and you loved it?
Yeah.
Or were you like pursuing a different path? What was that like?
It started out as a necessity. I had to work.
Yeah.
And I had these talents. And then my talents turned into the things that I love to do with my talents.
Gotcha.
And so I absolutely loved it. So I got to design a bunch of stuff. And I've been kind of known for, okay, we got to do this or this. Or on Three Kings, I had to blow a car up and flip it over, coming right at the actor, and had to anchor it so that car wouldn't hit him. And then on Longlands, it looks just like that car is going to crush him.
Wow.
But we had to plan it out, and then and work. I was working with Marty Breslin again, and I had weed on the ground, and he has to fall just as the car comes down. And so I put a weed on the ground and said, "You've got to be to that weed before you fall." And then we set it off. We got it in one take.
Yeah.
So we get
Pressure.
a lot of.
Yeah.
But my passion, I guess, is designing and building equipment.
Okay. And
I've done that for almost all the films I worked on. Make these doors work, they got to do this. To make this car flip, it's got to do this. It's, just make me wind machines that can do this, this, and this. We actually built a wind machine that we can, or a rotisserie, forklift rotisserie that could go on. We lift our big ritters in the air and then flip them over and do helicopter wind without a helicopter in the shot, which is not safe.
Yeah.
So I get to design and build this kind of stuff. We had to build a rotisserie for a car rotisserie with the actors in the car. They wanted something with them rolling and seeing their hair flying around with the actual actors.
Yeah.
So we built a rotisserie that you can put on a long reach forklift, lift up in the air, spin it, stop it, spin it, reverse it.
I saw that on your Instagram. Was that the same thing?
Yeah.
Different?
Yeah.
Okay. Because,
that was just this last year, and that movie hasn't come out yet.
And that makes the hair obviously move, and it makes it actually real. And
they actually put a little bit of garbage in there and stuff, empty soda cans and stuff, so you see stuff falling around when they're moving all over. They're supposed to roll 2.5 times and then land on their top.
Gotcha.
But the thing is when you film that with actors, you can't put a car upside down and get them in the seat belts.
Yeah.
So the thing is we could flip this over and get them all in, tightened in, get them ready, okay, roll it over, do the shot, pick back up and get them out of the car.
Wow.
Because you can't hang an actor for a long time because of the blood rush to the
I think
head.
SAG allows 5 minutes.
Really?
So trying to get a scene, trying to get them in the seatbelt, upside down in the car, and shoot the scene and then get them out all within 5 minutes is really tricky.
5 minutes is gone. You can't
So that
do it.
rotisserie ended up being,
Right.
we didn't even plan on it for that. But when we realized what we had, it just made shooting that whole sequence very easy.
They added every shot to finish the movie of that part of the scene because we could just do it instantly,
Yeah. Wow.
We got to design, build that kind of stuff. So.
That's so cool. I know I didn't realize when you were saying rotisserie, like literally
Yeah, cut a car
a
off, put it
spinning
on a
car.
frame, spin it in the air and bring it down, yeah.
If you could pull that up, Ben, it's on, are you looking?
I think it's on the drive.
Well, it's on his Instagram,
Okay.
Mike Roundy's Instagram, but we can keep chatting while he's looking that, because I'd love to show the audience what that looks like. So then kind of, you just basically love to build things, and then you've got these opportunities that kind of brought you into the
Who
movies.
gets paid to build and destroy stuff?
Yeah.
Well, the great thing about that rotisserie too is there was one in California, and we called in to see if we could rent it and bring it out here. And for one day of shooting, it was going to be $50,000.
Wow.
And we were able to. Oh, yep, here it is. We were able to build this one for I think about like 23,000 or something.
23,000.
So.
Wow.
The camera's in the back seat watching the actors as they're flying.
And is that are you rolling on that, or is these like extras that you're?
This is Frank Bear,
stand-ins?
who's a phenomenal local stunt guy, and his son, Kurik,
Yeah.
I think. And we were just testing this at our shop.
Okay. Yeah, and I can see why, like, resetting all the garbage and all that
Right.
when you're when you're having to reset each shot.
Thing about that kind of stuff too is you have to build it to be practical, but you also have to build it safe.
Of course.
It can't be.
And the other great thing about this rotisserie design, you can see out the side windows, you can see out the windshield. You know, you have full range of motion for the camera. Where other rotisserie designs, there's a few other ones with like big loops that roll, or it's like on a spit. But you have a mechanism at each side and the car in the middle, so you can't see out front or back.
Yeah.
Because you'll see the mechanism, or you have to remove it in post. With this one, they have full range of motion.
Wow.
And then we wanted to go all out. I wanted to have air mortars there that would fire dirt at the windshield as it was upside down, so it looked like it was hitting the dirt and stuff. And they just, when they were shooting it, they just ran out of time.
Yeah.
They saved this to the very end, and all of a sudden the sun was coming up, and we had to still shoot it, and didn't have time to set it up proper.
And when this was working, it was a night shot. So I can see on the front of that, see the headlights mounted out there.
Yeah.
And it was raining.
I have a 3-cell battery tied into that lights and a switch where you can flip them on, so you see the lights rolling too.
Well, we were making it rain. It wasn't raining. We were making it rain for the scene too. So
cool. Yeah. What's it? I have a million questions. What's it like working with actors in these kinds of situations, and obviously making things that are safe? And I'm sure it varies from actor to actor, but like, you guys deal with a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
Well, then even just the one where it's like, you got to land here or else that car is going to hit you.
Yeah.
So like, talk to me just about that process and the prep work that you guys, because I think what's really cool about all this is, and that's what I love about this podcast, is it's allowing you guys to show your work and talk about it, because I think a lot of filmmakers don't get that opportunity. Yeah. So just tell me a little bit about that pressure that you guys deal with when it comes to like actors that you need to keep safe, and stuntmen and women.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we stay up nights worrying about it before we shoot it, because what if something goes wrong?
Hospital.
You know,
Yeah.
End up in the hospital with an ulcer.
Yeah. No kidding.
So, like in this case, we built it, we tested it at our shop multiple times when we were comfortable with it, and we were certain that nothing could go wrong. We called in our stunt coordinator, Frank Bear, and he came down and we tested with him, and then he had input, and in this case, he loved it. We didn't have to change anything.
Wow.
And then we go out to set on the day. We walk through the whole process with the camera crew, with the actor, with the director, the DP, so everybody knows what to expect. The first AD, because he's in charge of safety. Right. We make sure everyone knows exactly what to expect. We have our safety meeting. We do a test with the car with the stunt guy, Frank, so the actor can see it. And then we do a test with the actor at like half speed, make sure he's comfortable. Then we go to full speed, all before we film it.
Wow. So a lot, I mean, obviously there's just a ton.
And they loved it. They thought, this is so
I'm
cool.
sure.
So there's a ton of steps we take just to make sure that nothing will go wrong. It gets a little more squirrely when we're doing pyro, because sub shows don't have the budget for us to blow up a car. Although on Thunderbolts, for the chase scene, when we blew up the Hummers and the limo, we got to do a test one on all of those. I actually did them back in Georgia. I wasn't there for the tests. And then for filming in Green River, you know, we had the tests and the videos and everything that we got to go off of, but not everyone has Marvel budgets.
Yeah.
So some shows can only afford to blow up one car. They can't afford to blow up a car off screen. So then it comes down to experience and knowing safe distances and knowing tolerances and what the explosives are capable of and what we can do to safety it and make sure it's safe for the actor, make it look as big as possible while being as least damaging as possible.
Right.
You know, we don't want shrapnel or anything like that. And so there's a lot of planning involved.
Yeah.
And
I'm
there's
sure.
so many safety factors involved in doing that or blowing something up. You have to have a roll cage that's hidden, so the car can't crush them. You have to have Lexan in the windshield, behind the windshield,
Which is bulletproof
you can't
glass.
see it, so glass brakes won't get in their eyes. If you're doing a roll and a burn, then you have to gut the car and take all the stuff out because it burns and makes toxic gas.
Yeah.
So you leave just enough to make it see what's there, but all that underneath is bare metal. We strip it.
Wow.
So fuel tanks, fuel lines, motors, oil, anything that can cause more problems, you have to take out of the car. Most people don't know you got to do that. It takes 2 or 3 days to prep a car to roll it.
Yeah.
Yep, this was us. Along with one of the best stunt teams and effects teams in the world through Marvel, but we got to be a part of this, which we were very happy to be there.
So fun. This actually made me think, rolling a car, I totally forgot that you guys had rolled a go-kart in one of our shoots
Okay.
with an explosion.
Yeah.
You had the rail and it
Right.
through that.
Yeah, this is all Green River, Utah, and I was the pyro foreman on this.
So cool.
This is an air cannon here.
Oh my gosh.
We have a driver in that who
Yeah.
he triggered it.
Really?
Yep. So full roll cages.
How long does it, I mean,
What?
that shot right there.
The limo is fascinating. So
Yeah.
the stunt guy hit the button early.
Really?
He wasn't even in the frame of some of the cameras. He hadn't hit his mark because he's on the button. He's
Yeah.
controlling it. He was supposed to come in. Actually, here, he's supposed to come in, go into a power slide, hit the button, which fires the cannon, and is supposed to go into a roll.
Really?
And the car is supposed to end up on its roof. And they'd already filmed the aftermath where they're pulling him out of the car, where
Yeah.
Bucky's pulling him out of the car and it's upside down. So we're going into this. He jumps the gun, and at first he swears he didn't, but we had GoPros inside and they caught it.
Yeah.
So he jumps the gun. So the car goes up, it goes to a 90. The bumper is dragging and leaving marks in the asphalt, and then it comes back down on its wheels.
Oh, no.
And the director was frustrated because it was
Yeah.
supposed to end up upside down.
Of course.
And it was absolutely gorgeous. We couldn't have recreated that if we wanted to.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful.
Especially
and
a car
then,
that big.
Yeah. To have it in a stretch to go up like that.
and then, funny enough, they ended up carrying it over, so it ended up upside down in post.
Got it.
And they put that in the movie where they carry it over in post, visual effects.
Yep.
And then they didn't put in the scene where they pull him out of the car upside down.
Oh my! So they liked this
So they
accident
didn't
more than
need
the actual shot. That's so funny.
Uh-huh.
How long does it take to just get this, 2-second shot? That's like
Gosh.
the most amazing thing about film, right? Is you're
Yeah.
using seconds of footage
So,
that took days.
I
of
mean,
prep.
I was there just for this chase sequence.
Yeah.
And I was there 3 weeks
Wow.
with about a week prep.
And most of the cars were pre-prepped.
They had pre-prepped and tested everything in Georgia.
Yeah.
And this is Dan Sudik and his guys, Charles Cooley. Amazing, phenomenal effects guys. It was a privilege to get to work with them. I was brought on as the pyro foreman because I hold the local Utah licenses.
Cool.
So I was their token Utah guy.
Yeah.
But it was still an honor to be there and working with them.
Yeah. So 3 weeks for a couple shots.
Yeah.
If
Well,
not less.
months.
Yeah, months.
Because that limo had a full roll cage in it and the cannons underneath. And then,
All the prep.
not only does that all have to be put in, it all has to be taken out.
Yeah.
And then this was all tested beforehand.
Yeah.
So they shot it in Georgia where they tested the cannons to make sure everything went off and the cars reacted how they wanted them to.
Yeah.
So months.
I was gonna wait to ask this question, but I have to ask it and get your guys' perspective on it. It's special effects on like computer visual effects, AI now. Like, what, knowing the prep and all that, and just seeing kind of this evolution of film coming, because I'm dealing with it daily and just like watching AI each month. I'd love to understand your guys' perspective on that. Where it's coming, and does it scare you, or does it? Do you see it replacing what you guys are doing, or do you see a place for real visual effects always? Like, is there, like, I don't know. Like, I'm curious. I'm sure you guys have thought about it.
When computer effects came out,
Yeah, I guess that's true. You guys
everybody
watched
said
that.
it was going to replace effects.
Yeah.
They said we were done. I remember, what were you on that lost the Oscar to Babe?
What or
It was like Backdraft
Backdraft,
or Waterworld
it
or
was Backdraft.
something.
yeah, it was Backdraft.
Which was a huge fire movie where they collapse a roof as explosions are going off on a high-rise warehouse as Kurt Russell's running across it, and they
Yeah.
did it all practically, and it lost the Oscar to Babe, a talking pig. And back then, everyone said, "Oh, practical effects are done; they're
Right.
out." But in all honesty, practical or visual effects made it easier for us to do practical effects.
Interesting.
The shots that studios couldn't afford to do practically, they could still get in for their storytelling.
Yeah.
And for us, on Marvel, I didn't have to hide the explosive packages on the cars.
They can remove
We
it.
would just stick them right to the side, and they would remove it in post until it goes off, and then they'd see the fireball. And or in the old days, we would have
We had
had
to
to
hide
have
everything.
hide it inside
Make
the
it
door and
more
have
difficult.
it blow out or from underneath. And this time, they're just like, no, just stick it to the side of the car. We'll take it out until we need it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Which makes us lazy, I think.
Yeah.
It makes it easier. Line removal. They used to. One of your mentors, right, Glenn Robinson, won an Oscar on Logan's Run because they have the scene where people are like flying around in this chamber, and he ran tungsten wire. Tungsten wire is incredibly strong tensile strength, but no shear strength.
Yeah.
So, but as long as you're pulling on it directly, you can go very microscopic wire. And it was the first movie where they had something flying where they couldn't see the wires.
Wow.
And so he won an Oscar for that, for figuring that out. Nowadays, we don't have to worry about doing that. We can have, full on climbing rope on them, and they just remove it in post and line removal. It makes it a lot easier, and it makes it, like I said, I think in ways it makes effects a little more lazier.
Yeah.
Not that we're ever lazy, but one of our favorite things to do is watch old movies and try to figure out how they did effects back when they couldn't
That's
cheat
cool.
it.
Yeah, one of those old movies I worked on. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
That's really
yeah,
cool.
in the beginning, it's like when they first started doing it, they couldn't really do it without us. So we would start it, and then they would enhance it.
Yeah.
So that made it all better for everybody.
Yeah.
So and then it got better and better and better and better. Yet I remember talking to, matter of fact, when we were doing Here Come the Munsters. When he was 16, I was talking to the producer, and we were chatting about it, and he says it'll get to a point in time where they can make a whole movie without even the actors.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Lord of the Rings, you can see they can do that.
Yeah.
Well, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but he says it's never going to happen. He says people want to see the real thing.
Yeah.
They don't want, and this is going on, but as we're getting older, the new generation loves that stuff.
Yeah.
And the older generation still wants practical, whatever. So I don't know where it's going to evolve to. I think, it's going to evolve as everything does.
Right.
But, and I see then if we can build stuff on the sides to help create this stuff, but we won't be doing the stuff that we usually do. The mechanical pyrotechnic stuff will be replaced.
Yeah, it's interesting because I ask this question a lot because it's affecting everyone in our industry.
Oh, sure.
And one of my favorite analogies that's kind of come up is just the art of it, right? And like the being able, something that comes from a human and being able to relate with that and the as much as you can do it, let's just say in 10 years, it's like, all right, we can do all that with AI now that we don't need to do it real. It almost become like there's going to be this phase, and I feel like we're in it right now, where it's like things are just going to be done, and it's like, wow, that's really cool that we can do that without people. But then it almost kind of, I think it'll have a shift back where this almost becomes more valuable, and I think people like yourselves will become more valuable because people will still want the real thing. They'll want to appreciate real art. I compare it to paintings, right? Who cares about paintings anymore? Well, they're worth more now because there's less painters, but we could easily create it digitally.
Well, we have that knowledge, and we came up through time with it.
Yeah.
And we've improved it. So
Yeah.
And we're hoping that, like visual effects, AI will just supplement and help us to tell the story better.
Right.
And people will take advantage of it and overuse it.
Yeah.
But our partner in New Mexico, Warner, he's on Pluribus, and the creator, Vince Gilligan, make sure to put at the end of the credits, made by humans. Because he wants everyone to know there was no AI involved in the making of this show, and it's a fantastic show. And they're very proud of the fact that it's made by humans, and they put that in the credits.
Totally.
I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love
Crazy
that. I think
that
that's the future for us. It's people who's going to take pride in what mankind can accomplish.
Totally. And then it's just gonna it's gonna get to a point where people are going to want it and be like, oh, there's just where's the real. That's so lost. So I love that perspective. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I still don't think computer effects can do explosions or fire anywhere near as real as we can.
Out,
Yeah.
And then even on simple shots, Mountain Head, the Steve Carell billionaire
Yeah.
board, movie.
Yep.
There was a scene in that we filmed where, all these billionaires are bored in this mountain home. It was a $59 million home up in Deer Valley.
Yeah.
7 stories. And there's a spiral staircase that goes down all 7 stories. And they wanted a scene where they were strapping mice to little parachutes and dropping them down the spiral staircase while someone's halfway down with a flamethrower shooting at the mice.
Wow.
In a $59 million mansion.
Yes.
And so they're, for safety reasons, they're like, we cannot have a flamethrower
Right.
in this mansion.
Yeah.
We'll do the mice dropping, and we had to put those all on reels that were all RC controlled so we could make them go up and down.
They were mice.
They were
No,
fake mice.
Okay.
But
I was like, that's amazing.
and it didn't make it in the movie.
No
I was
way.
really sad because we had a lot of work in that.
Oh my gosh.
So we had 3 sets of mice that were parachuting down, and then the bottom on the line, and we used tungsten wire because fish line would burn.
Yeah.
And we needed something that wouldn't burn. And then the bottom, we had them attached to weights, and we got the weights all kind of spinning. And so as the reel would drop them and bring them up, they weren't just on a straight path. They were there was movement. And we got it to where it was looking really good, but they couldn't do visual effects solely for the flame because fire produces light
Yeah.
in every direction.
Right.
And they couldn't recreate that production of light. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And so we had a tiny little propane mortar to do a little fire burp just to provide the light, and then they could add the fire fully on in post.
Wow.
But so as advanced as it is, they still can't just completely make a scene without
Us
some
helping
kind of
create.
Totally.
So-
And there's even like there's human movement. There's, like you said, the reflection of the light that you almost have, even if you were to do it fake, you almost have to do it practically to they do it with human movement, just how they put all the white balls on them, and they want to make sure that it's natural and it actually happened that way. Because
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they had that funky headgear on the actors that looked like they were in some kind of post-accident traction,
yeah,
just to capture all their facial movements and expressions to put them on the digital turtles.
yeah. Kind of going back to your guys' journey, I'd love to kind of pick up when Ryan got involved, but even before that, Dad's out working. What were you seeing as a child, seeing what your dad was doing, and did that fascinate you?
Oh,
Or-
yeah.
Yeah.
When your dad blows stuff up for a living, you don't grow up to be an accountant.
I don't want to do that.
So,
No kidding.
although funny enough, now I'm just a glorified accountant running the business.
Running
but
the business.
I remember my 11th birthday party. He was filming a rock video for Pia Zadora. You probably don't even know who she is. She was big back in her day.
Okay.
She found out that it was his son's 11th birthday and he was missing it to be there filming the rock video. And she told him to have me come to set, and she threw me a birthday party on set while they're
No
filming
way.
this 80s rock, total crazy video.
How cool.
So I grew up on set when you were filming Little Rascals. They built all the soapbox race were all go-karts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
build
built all the
11
go-karts.
with unlimited money.
So cool.
And so me and my brothers were out there testing and driving all the go-karts because they were kid sized and
Yeah.
the adults couldn't fit in them.
Wow. How cool. What a cool experience as a kid,
Oh, yeah.
especially now looking back. Obviously back then you had no idea what Little Rascals was going to become, but
Right.
Yeah.
wow.
So I grew up in it. I was
Yeah.
hooked from the beginning.
And do you have other kids?
Yeah.
Okay. And do any of them work with you, or is
No,
it just
well,
Ryan?
Some of them come on and help now and then.
Yeah.
Do stuff. We were doing rain jobs or whatever, doing light work stuff that non-union. They'll bring them on to
Yeah.
help.
Not anymore.
But not anymore.
Yeah.
Ryan's the only one that actually followed me on it.
And that's kind of where I wanted to get to, is you obviously took on this path, and you're having these cool experiences. And that's kind of going back to the question I asked Mike of when you saw that, where you're like, I'm getting into movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't wait. And when I was
Cool.
16, I went to work with him summers.
Yeah.
And then, funny enough, after the mission and after some college, and I went to UVSC, took auto body, auto mechanics, machine tooling, and welding.
Yeah.
Didn't take any film classes, just
That's
took
funny.
the mechanical classes I
Yeah.
thought I would need to do what he did.
Wow. But knowing it would be in the movies for sure.
Yep.
That's cool.
But when I came back, it was hard to get on with him because the union was very strict, and
Yeah.
I was very low on the ladder, and he was very high on the ladder, and it was almost impossible for me to get to work with him for a while.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, on 6 days, 7 nights, he had just graduated high school, and I couldn't be there because I was in Hawaii. That's a Harrison Ford and Hayes film.
Yeah.
And so I flew him out to Hawaii so I could spend some time with him. And he loves effects so much and knew everything to do, making our looms and wire looms and how do you do this. And I need a whip every 4 feet and I need it 3 feet long. He knew all the jargon.
Yeah.
So when he got there, he spent a day or two running around the island. I had an old car I'd purchased and well, I was living there for 7 months.
Yeah.
So he just started hanging out at the shop and helping. And finally,
Larry Kavanaugh.
Larry Kavanaugh, sweet guy, one of the best guys in the business, and he asked if he could hire him, and it was a union movie, but they can hire him as an effects BA. So he went to work as an effects BA, and then ended up helping us all the pyro and everything on that film.
Cool.
Yeah, Larry came up to me and he's like, "Hey, we really appreciate all the help you're giving us around to the shop and everything, but we have a problem. If you're not on payroll, you're not covered by insurance, and we can't have you here."
Wow.
I was like, "Okay, I understand. Thank
Yeah.
you." And he's like, "So you're on payroll? Get your butt back to work." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Heck yeah, that's so cool.
So Larry was great. Larry was amazing.
So he ended up spending the summer with me
Yep.
Wow.
out there
But-
finishing that. So
But there was a time where I couldn't work with you because of the unions.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was actually doing the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek reboot in 2007.
Mhm.
And the main boss, Burt Dalton, who is just one of the best effects guys Hollywood's ever seen, was getting frustrated because he couldn't find someone who could do a spreadsheet who also knew how to do effects. And he needed someone to break everything down and,
Yeah.
And my dad went, "Oh, my son knows effects and he can do a spreadsheet." And I was hired. I was there the next day and I was running the office for Burt on Star Trek.
How did you get? How were you known? I mean, why spreadsheets? Did you have experience, or was that just like a hey,
Just
he can do it?
From school and, well,
Yeah.
when I was a
Computer
kid.
generation.
Yes.
And-
Different.
Well,
sort of.
when I was a kid, he would try to turn in quotes and estimates and invoices handwritten on legal pads.
Wow. Yeah.
And I remember being like 12 when I took over all your invoicing because I could type it up and you didn't know how.
Wow.
And so I was
Yeah.
kind of running his office from a very early
Yeah,
age.
that's early.
Well, back then I was this, and
Right.
he
He had the
It
fingers.
was different, and it just took so much of my time because it takes so much time to do what I do,
Yeah.
but I don't have the time for all that
Right.
to do it quickly, and he has that knowledge.
Back then, there weren't pre-programs for doing invoices,
Right.
so it was all on Excel. So
Yeah.
I learned spreadsheets, and I was doing his invoices from a very young age.
Well,
So
you
that
did
guy-
both Star Treks and
Well, we worked with Burt for years. I ran office for Burt for years. Yeah, both Star Treks. We bought a zoo, Deepwater Horizon, Noah,
was
Teenage
that?
Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit.
what's the other one we did with Angelina Jolie? Oh, you were on
Salt. I
Salt.
wasn't- I
Yeah,
wasn't
we was
there
in New
for-
York. on Salt.
I got to help you a little out in the shop, but I wasn't officially on Salt.
Yeah.
But
So, but
So you're just getting a lot of cool opportunities, and this one, because you knew how to do spreadsheets, kind of opened another door for you.
that got me in, and then Burt was kind of a mentor to me after that. He loved me, and we loved working for Burt, and
Yeah.
he's retired now. But
yeah, we did. We bought a zoo, and
he was with Burt when Burt won an Oscar for Curious Case of Benjamin Buttons,
I worked on that.
and I was with him through a few nominations. But
Wow.
yeah, it was a very good opportunity working for Burt. And then in 2008, New Mexico passed their new film incentive bill.
Mhm.
And two friends of ours, one Warner Handline, who we mentioned, and the other was Dave Green, wanted to go to New Mexico and open an effects shop before anyone else had the chance to do it because they had no gear.
Yeah.
And so we went out with them and we helped them open up the shop and we got everything going. And one of the first jobs we got was Breaking Bad. And we got Crash, which was based off the movie, but it was a TV series starring Dennis Hopper. And we got, I think it was In Plain Sight, which was another TV series. So Warner took Breaking Bad, Dave took In Plain Sight, and I took Crash, and we each ran them.
Wow. And this was all happening at the same time?
All at the same time.
Jeez.
And I started working on
Terminator Salvation, I think.
Yeah, Terminator Salvation.
Which was also in New Mexico. New Mexico was very hot for a while.
Yeah.
That's also where we did Sicario. Sicario,
and the Maze Runner sequel.
Yeah.
Scorch Trials.
Scorch Trial, yeah.
And we did quite a bit. The Independence Day sequel.
Yeah.
I forgot what that was called.
Yeah, I forget too.
So New Mexico was great.
Yeah.
It was very busy. We saw the need for equipment there.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad had built equipment early on in his career for other people, but he'd never been able to afford to build it for ourselves. And we were usually working for other people where we couldn't get our equipment on rental anyway. So now I have an income that's pretty much disposable because I wasn't married, no kids, making good money. And so we started actually focusing on building equipment for ourselves at that time. And we designed and built some beautiful big wind machines that push wind at 60 miles an hour and run virtually silently.
Wow.
And all kinds of other stuff, hydraulic platforms and turntables. And
I'm sure you guys build things and that you get called on the next film and you're like, oh, we can utilize a lot of this stuff we've already built and just kind of reuse it.
That's kind of why we have.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy thing is, some of the real expensive stuff we built, like our hydraulic stuff and our gimbal, you only use it every 4 or 5 years. But it costs a fortune to build.
How many times have we used a 100-foot rain bar?
Yeah, I own a 100-foot rain bar once. We've used it once. We haven't used it in Utah at all, though.
I used it in Utah. It was on Terminator Salvation the last time I rented. It cost us $20,000 to build.
Really?
We have it if it's needed, but it's just sitting there in a shipping container waiting to be needed. We have a lot of equipment that I think we're in a unique position in the film industry.
Yeah.
Where we have to spend a lot of money to do our job.
Right.
We have to have the equipment, and we're not based out of LA where we can rent it from others.
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm not a millionaire.
We have to have it, or we don't have that option for our customers, the show.
Yeah.
And we never want to have to tell them, no, we don't have it available, because we feel that would hurt the film industry locally here.
Right.
So we try to make sure we have everything that could possibly be needed for effects. And a lot of it just sits, and some of it gets used very, very heavily. But we spend...
It has to be part of your package to be able to do everything that we do.
Right.
So, it's one of those. So.
They call on you knowing that they almost will save money because you've built so much stuff, and it's like... And you guys try to save money by reusing, but then I'm sure you guys are still building things to this day.
Always.
Yeah.
And we're always updating, and we're always upgrading, and trying to improve. And
What does that take? Do you guys have a big piece of property that you're just keeping everything on?
I have a lot. It's a little over an acre, and then Ryan bought the house next to us. This is just a little over an acre, so we have the two.
Cool.
We combine the back lots.
Nice.
And then we
put
combine the back
shops.
lots, and that's probably 1 acre of area that we have our shop. We have a wood shop and a weld shop, machine shop, and then we're trying to build another building on his side to put everything in and house it and set up. We've got a CNC plasma cutter. It'll cut for 1-inch thick steel, and then we've got a CNC router. It's got 8x10 table, so we can do great big projects.
Yeah.
So Ryan's more involved with all that stuff. But
car lifts. We have a full blacksmithing shop.
Wow.
We have a nice little setup. And then we also try to make sure that all of our employees know that they have full access to all our gear in their time off.
Yeah.
And so they'll come in on their days off and build things and learn things and try things. And it benefits us because they're learning how to do things on the machines that, normal jobs might not give them the opportunity to learn, but now they have that knowledge that will benefit us.
Totally.
And then Saturdays we host blacksmithing events at the shop where a bunch of people come in, and we have a friend, Abram Perry, who is on Forge and Fire, and he's a phenomenal blacksmith. And most Saturday mornings we're hosting blacksmithing events there where people could come in and learn how to make knives or whatever they
Cool.
want to make. And
That's amazing. How do you guys, there's two questions in this, but how do you guys get to this point where you become the guys? And also it kind of lends itself to ask the question of like operating on set and the etiquette and dealing with producers and directors and essentially allowing people to like you and call you back and being good to work with. I don't know who wants to take that question, but like obviously you have to be hardworking and likable, but then navigating that, just almost give advice to anyone that is on set.
it's tricky because it's not only who you know that gets you hired and what you know in your resume that gets you hired,
Right.
but there's also politics involved.
Totally.
There's always politics involved. There's always some producer who wants to hire his team rather than you, even though they're filming it here and his team's out of LA and they're going to have to bring him in and it'll cost more.
Yeah.
You know, Y Marshall's was just filming here, and the producer was the producer from SEAL Team 6, and he loved his effects team from SEAL Team 6, and he brought him with him. And we know some of the guys, and they're great guys.
Yeah.
And we tried to provide them with any equipment they needed that they didn't have, and they were actually very grateful that we had so much equipment available here because they weren't expecting to find that out of LA.
So you're still helping.
So we're still helping.
Yeah.
I've been on shows where just didn't get along with the designer.
Yeah.
There's a personality clash.
Yeah.
And that made the shows very difficult for us to work where I didn't want to go back. Yellowstone was one of those. Didn't get along with the designer, and there were health implications as a result, you know,
Right.
that as well as the lack of communication.
Totally.
Horizon, I didn't get along with the designer who had a phenomenal resume, but he was a very bold personality and he wanted his effects team hired, and they didn't hire his effects team, they hired us.
Yeah.
And he made life very difficult for us, not because we were doing a bad job. We did a great job.
Yeah.
In fact, Costner gave me one of the best compliments of my career in it. He said, "You're the kind of guy who brings me solutions, not excuses."
Love
He
that.
said, I can't tell you how valuable that is.
Yes. That's huge.
So to get that kind of compliment from Kevin Costner, but have the designer not like us, still made it difficult, you know.
Of course.
I'm very proud of Ryan too, because that's his attack on everything. How can I help you? We're going to change. Oh, we'll just do this. Instead of saying, well, you know, make an excuse.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He just finds a way. He does it. And I'm very proud of him for that.
But then we do other shows where everything just falls into place. You know, it's usually the producer or the UPM that brings us on. Sometimes just because of location, but not always. You know, sometimes it's because they've worked with us in the past and they love us and they want to carry us with them through their career.
Right.
Train Dreams was one of those. It's on Netflix now, and it's just a beautifully shot movie. And we did some big effects on that. Try not to do any spoilers, but you know, we got to burn a few things down, and we got rainstorms, and we got just logging accidents, and you know, some very big effects. But it was kind of one of the first movies we did after the strikes, and things were just picking up, and they didn't have a huge budget, and so we had to give them a really big discount on all the gear just to get working again.
Yeah.
But for me, it was more important to get the guys working again. I didn't want to lose our guys.
Yeah.
And especially in Utah, the construction industry is booming. You know, the guys can jump over to a construction site and make just as much as they can make doing film, and we're worse hours and no security, you know.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure we keep our guys taken care of, or we lose them.
Yeah.
And but the line producer, Scott Hinckley, we've worked with in the past, and he loved us, and he insisted he wanted us there. They were filming up in Washington, and everyone else heard that we just finished Fallout. They're like, oh yeah, we'll take them.
Cool.
And so the resume helped us out with the other producers, and then knowing Scott helped us out. And once we got there, we just tried to always make sure that we were helping every department as much as we could.
Right.
And it was a phenomenal crew where we really accomplished something amazing. The designer on that, she was just incredible. The art director was amazing. You know, we had some very crazy experiences on that set. There was one scene where the whole movie ends with him in a biplane, just going for a ride in a biplane, and he's kind of contemplating his life. We shot that the first day. and they had a biplane, and they attached all the camera rigs to the biplane, and they decided they were going to send it up and have it do a loop and come back down just to make sure all the camera stuff was attached properly and that they liked it and everything before they put the actor in it. And when it came in for a landing, it buckled the landing gear underneath it and slid in on the runway on his belly.
Oh my gosh.
And so we're like, okay, we're not doing that today.
Yeah.
And then the insurance said, no, you're not sending up the actor in a 100-year-old plane. Absolutely not. And so it was just kind of put on the back burner, and they were considering rewriting, and they were considering what else they could do. And then we finished the movie, and we went back home, came back to Utah, and then I get a call from Scott, the line producer, and he tells me, we're going to film the biplane sequence in 2 weeks in Seattle. We need you to build us a gimbal. And so we had to hurry and build a platform that we could mount the plane to, that it could do, I think it was a 60-degree dive, and then come back up, and then side to side, and then rotate 360.
Jeez.
360.
And we built the whole thing, and we were hosting my niece for her wedding during that same time. And
At
this
your
is
house?
at,
While you're building this?
we were doing the wedding a block over.
Gotcha. But
at
you're
our neighbor's
obviously busy.
orchard. But yeah, everything's getting ready, preparations going, everything. Wedding happened while we were building this gimbal during that 2 weeks.
So cool.
And so it was crazy time, and we couldn't have done it without our guys. We've got some amazing guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jay and Sam and Carson and Steven, some of our team that just really came through for us because we were kind of spread thin at that time, and it was a very difficult timeline.
Was Devin on that too?
Devin, at that point, he was on the first part of Train Dreams, and then he wasn't there for the gimbal. He was back in Arizona.
Oh yeah.
But we got it built. We got it up there. It wasn't hydraulic. It was all counterweighted. And then John, the art director, built, that's it.
Oh, that's the gimbal. Oh my goodness.
So John built the fuselage. We have
So
an E-fan
cool.
mounted on the front to give them some wind. They got the camera mounted there. And we're all down there with, see all the sandbags hanging on the back? That was to counterweight it so we could, it was balanced. And it is a very key part of the film, and it was great to shoot.
So cool. Like, you guys have the most unique, like, and crazy amounts of variety careers. Like, it's probably never the same, rarely.
Oh, very rarely.
Yeah.
And in LA, you're not really even considered an effects guy unless you got 10 years experience.
Yeah.
And then you can take the effects test.
Gotcha.
They don't even let you try before then.
You've got to go through
that
so
experience
much.
too throughout my life, coming up through accomplishments and experience, has got us to the point to where actually we were on Fallout when they said call the Roundys. Remember, tell that story.
I'm not sure what story.
One of the grips where somebody thought Roundys was just a part of the film.
Someone thought Roundy was the nickname for an effects guy because all his career you'd always heard Roundy.
Roundy, I know. Your
referred
guys'
to the effects.
the last
and,
name
of course, he
travels.
came up in Utah.
Okay.
But he'd been in the industry quite a while,
Yeah.
and he just thought it was a nickname for all effects guys. And
That's
he was kind of
so
shocked to
funny.
find out, no, that's their last name.
Yeah, these guys are actually people.
It's
and
actually
not
kind of
really-
honorable, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's so
reputation can get out there, you
Yeah.
know, and that's kind of what helps get you work and
Yeah,
helps your career. So,
that's
and
amazing.
I retired in 2016 from Hollywood, not from working. I don't want to lay down and die.
Yeah. So you
But and then Ryan's taken over and doing a phenomenal job. He does it way better than I do. But I still work the shop with him and
Cool.
still build and design equipment and stay busy. And it's right there at our own house. So
yeah.
what better life can you have?
Yeah, just go out whenever you feel like and
Yeah.
get your hands dirty.
Or if I don't feel like.
That was intentional on my part.
Yeah,
I
no
built our
kidding.
shop behind his house so that even when he
He's
retired,
always
he
involved.
still had to help us.
Yeah. I would love to talk about, Mike, I'd love you to tell me, like, what was your favorite film? And I know you probably have a bunch of favorites, but is there a film that stands out as maybe one of your more memorable, most proud of films?
Face Off
Okay.
was a huge pyro movie. Ton of stuff on that one, pyro wise, and big accomplishments. Star Trek was pretty big for me, just being able to build the doors and stuff in there. people don't even know. They just work, but they don't know what
you
went
just
behind
assume
it,
that
what happened. I mean,
yeah, you don't even think about that.
Making glass slide at 0 to 30 and back in 1 second, you know, is and without breaking. I mean, just those accomplishments.
With the pyrotech on it was, you said Fallout?
Face Off.
Face Off, sorry.
Face
John
Off.
Travolta, Nicolas Cage.
You said the
Nicolas Cage is John
pyrotechnics.
Travolta.
Yeah, is that, what about that? You said there's a lot of pyrotechnics.
We have a shootout, and it's in a drug lord's loft.
Yeah.
And so we have skylights. We have stunt people or SWAT coming in through the skylights. We have people coming through the side windows. You got 30 people shooting in at them, and they're sitting. There's kind of a raised area in the center of their little loft.
Yeah.
And they're up there on couches, and everything starts shouting and blowing. And John Woo directed, and John Woo puts 9 cameras on everything, and he gets the most unbelievable look. I mean, you see a lady die of an explosion and things flying through the air, and then you get another angle and the same stuff flying through the air, and everything looks identical. I mean, it's beautiful shooting.
Yeah.
But where do you hide? If
Yes.
he's hiding cameras for camera, where you got to go?
Yes.
I remember on
There's no
that,
remote firing systems at this time. Everything's hardwired.
Yeah, we're all hand wired. Yeah, setting stuff off. You know, all of effects guys are. One guy's doing one area, setting stuff off over there. There's one scene where one of the ladies in the ring of like coffee table like this, and couches go around it, and it's open on one side. And she's over there, and she jumps up and dives over the coffee table. As things are going off, and you see everything flying. And then she lands by the end of the couch and stops, and she gets hit 6 or 7 times at that point. So I have her pre-wired.
Yeah.
No wires on her legs. She can't fly through the air with it.
Right.
And then she lands and steps back by the corner of the couch. I'm laying behind the couch. I plug her in, boom, 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 and set it off, and I unplug her, and then she dies.
Wow.
I mean,
Jeez.
just shots like that. It's just,
Yeah.
it was an amazing accomplishment, and we got most of that in one take.
So you'd say that probably the most memorable films are the hardest.
Yeah, sometimes not. Sometimes they're very emotional. I did a lot of religious films that, to me,
Yeah.
that are very, 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 very special to me.
Yeah. So there's a different, I guess,
Yeah.
like
So
versus,
you get your hard work, visual,
yeah.
and then you've got your spiritual,
Yeah.
also visual, but spiritual side.
Yeah.
So finding a favorite. My religious films are really, really close to me.
Mm-hmm.
But for big films, Sicario was pretty big. Trying to think.
What do people-
Tropic Thunder.
What?
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic
that was-
Thunder?
yeah.
No way you're on that. That's so fun.
I did. Yeah, we laughed so hard. I
I'm
don't think I've worked
sure.
with that many top actors. If you
Right.
look at the list
Just
on that.
comedians.
Tom
man.
Cruise all the way down.
Yes. Oh my
But
gosh.
that was a lot of fun, building, working on all that. So
I'm
that
sure.
was
What do
good.
what do people think of when they think of you? Is there a film that stands
I
out?
hope they think nice.
Yeah. Like, but is there like, oh yeah, he did that film? I mean,
Yeah,
you've done
I
everything,
get a
so
lot
it's
of
hard
that.
to.
And actually, a lot of the people I work with, when they find out I did Tropic Thunder, say, "Oh wow!"
That one's
you know?
yeah. That one's definitely. I didn't realize that.
So, Backdraft's always been a big one. Face Off was pretty big.
Oceans 11, 12, and 13.
Oceans 11, 12,
Wow.
and 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were good and fun. Worked
Yes.
with George Clooney and doing a lot of stuff. I think I've done 6 or 7 with Clooney.
Wow.
And he's an amazing, amazing person. Very,
I'll kind of go off that question. Who's some of your favorite people to work with that you've gotten to that people would recognize, like George Clooney?
almost all of them, really.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I mean,
such
there's
a
a
loaded
few
question.
in there that would be difficult,
Yeah,
and I'm not going to name any names.
Yeah.
But no, as a whole, I find if you treat people like people,
yeah,
don't put them on a pedestal,
right,
and don't belittle them, then they'll treat you back the same way.
yeah. They probably appreciate that too.
Yeah, and there's actors that's invited me to go golfing with them, and
Yeah,
things just became friends
right.
on set. I remember when we were doing, we bought a zoo, and Matt Damon,
You say you bought a zoo?
we bought a zoo,
That was the name of a movie.
a movie we worked on.
You guys bought a zoo?
No, that'd be cool.
Amazing.
No, we bought a zoo, and Matt Damon was working on it,
Yeah.
and I had done Oceans 11, 12, and 13, and we got to know each other.
Yeah,
and then we walked on set, and I'm working on another movie at the same time. We're doing
Gangster Squad
Gangster Squad and another one.
and Total Recall,
Total Recall, the new Total Recall.
which is one of my favorites to
We
have
made
worked
the
on.
Wow.
flying, hydraulic moving, flying cars
Yeah.
in that film. And I walked on set to help with the rain. We did a big rain scene. And he saw me. He was standing there talking to the director, and he just stopped, ran right over, grabbed me, hugged me. How you doing, Mike?
So cool.
How many kids you got now? Well, I got this many.
Yeah.
Just like old friends. I got to get back. I got to get back to work.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you.
So fun.
Glad you're on this shoot.
Yeah,
So that kind of stuff is really fun.
that's gotta be.
Yeah. What's yours?
Yeah, I was gonna push that question over to you, Ryan.
I like the challenge and the crew.
Cool.
Those two things can make a movie or break a movie for me.
Yeah,
Total Recall, the flying hover cars.
yeah,
Excuse me, sorry. There's a whole chase scene with these flying hover cars in the movie, and we built the cars practically, and we built stunt chassis under the cars, and they were on hydraulic gimbals, and then the film car was on top, and the actors could be in the cars with stunt guys underneath driving, and they could rock forward and backward and side to side and spin 360 degrees, and we built 7 of these cars. And that build to me was just one of the best builds of my career.
yeah.
Yeah, these cars right here.
Jeez.
Now the chassis on those, it has a rear steer and a front steer, so there's 2 stunt drivers. So that thing could go 80 miles an hour sideways down the freeway.
Yeah,
And then we had cars that we could hoist off by a crane, so they went flying through the air. But this build, and we didn't get to be there for filming it because it was filmed in Canada, and they can only bring so many people into Canada.
So
we didn't even get to be there for filming it.
Dang. But
we built all the
building
cars.
how cool for you guys to
And
see
we were
it
part of a
work.
team. This was under Burt Dalton.
Yeah.
It was a career highlight for me.
Cool. It's interesting that
this.
it's a career highlight, but you weren't on the film.
Right.
Just something really cool, and I'm sure you were so cool to actually see it come out and be like, "Oh, it worked."
But it was that way because of the challenge of
Yeah,
building them. It
yeah.
was, and then we had fake body panels that could crunch when they hit and then be easily replaced, and just so much thought went into these cars. And Bird, our boss on this one, was really one of the best guys. He's so talented. But yeah, this
I
is
was
a
one
career
of
highlight
them.
for me.
What was that?
I was one of them.
Yeah, I'm kidding. That's really fun. And then you said the crew. Obviously,
can
I
make
think
a
that's a
difference.
huge piece to anything.
Train dreams. The J. Van Wagner one.
Yeah.
Which I believe has been renamed to Rush. When we
Okay.
filmed it was called Strasbourg. Films like that where the crew is just working together for a common goal
Right.
and helping each other, and egos aren't in the way, and everybody's just trying to create something wonderful. That sense of family in creating something beautiful
Yeah.
is the reason why I do what I do. You get on some of the big movies where it's all egos and everybody saying, "Oh, well, that's not my job," and it can
Ego's
get
a joy killer.
Yeah.
it can just create a whole level of stress where you just can't wait to get off the show.
Yeah.
I've been on shows where people were counting the days until they could leave, and
Sure.
we were on Let Me In, which was a winter vampire movie. Never take a winter vampire movie. It's all nights and it's all freezing.
I bet. And you're outside and
The crew nicknamed it Let Me Out because nobody wanted to be there.
oh, that's rough.
So having a good crew and something challenging to do, Rush with Jeremy Prusso and Jake Van Wagner, they didn't have the money to shoot what they needed to shoot.
Yeah.
And so they came to us and they asked if we would be willing to be investors in the film, and if we would come in with our equipment and donate that, and that would be counted as an investment towards the film and making it. Which normally we don't like taking those kinds of things because we have ridiculous amounts of money and equipment that doesn't make us huge amounts of money. So,
Yeah. It's all locked up.
if you spend $80,000 on a camera package, it can make you pretty decent money.
Right.
If you spend $125,000 on an electric wind machine,
How many times does it
it
get used?
rents maybe 2 weeks out of the year,
Wow.
and it takes 15 years to build his money back.
Most of our equipment is at that point.
So we
So
went
when
into
you
the
guys
wrong
are-
field.
So, but when you guys are building these things, are you paying for them?
Oh yeah.
Like let's say you get a Marvel budget. do they not pay for these, like for you to build? Like, here's all my material costs and labor costs. Do they pay that?
They pay material and labor for building things that are on screen.
Oh, okay.
So the roll cages and
But then
the
there's
and
a
the
lot of
limo
things
and all that.
you're
But if we
building.
want to rent
Yeah.
them a fan or use a wind machine, if there's not a wind machine available, they'll pay for us to build a wind machine and then they keep it. But if we want a wind machine that we keep,
Gotcha.
we have to pay
Yeah.
for it. We have to build it, and then we rent it to them.
And you'd prefer to build it to keep it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And most films, well, I would say the car rotisserie, which I can't do spoilers, I can't say there was an
Yeah.
accident in it because it hasn't released yet,
Yeah.
was for a show. And originally the quote from LA was $50,000 for a day of filming.
Yeah.
And we realized we could do it cheaper, but we were also donating equipment we had. We had
Yeah.
the hydraulic pumps already. We had, a lot of the gear, and we had the welding shop. And so we cut a deal with the producer that they would pay for all the materials. We would cover the labor and the equipment necessary to build it. And then when we were done, we would get to keep it. And they still got the rotisserie for half the price as if they brought
Cool.
one in from LA.
Yeah.
And we ended up with a car rotisserie.
Awesome.
So sometimes we can cut deals with like that. That
Yeah.
doesn't always happen. Usually it's us seeing a need for a piece of equipment and us paying the money to build it in our free time, which we have so much of.
Well, the crazy
And,
thing about something like that, too, we already had the equipment. The thing is, that equipment was $35,000.
To get, yeah.
The hydraulics to turn that. I mean, so
Oh my
but we
gosh.
already have
So-
that for another project.
Yeah. So there's the equipment they want, but then there's the equipment to support the
Yeah,
equipment.
yeah,
Right. And then we try to rent it to shows that want to pay half price of what the standard rate for that piece of equipment is. So
Yeah. Wow.
you got to make your money somewhere. Your kids eat more than once a day. You got to keep feeding them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
especially me.
Yeah. I was going to which kind of leads to a question that I've been thinking about this whole time. And it's actually one of the reasons I didn't go into film. Like when I say like traditional Hollywood film, it's kind of a personal question. Mike, I wanted to ask you, but just like going down this Hollywood route, anyone that wants to go down this route is like, you're spending a lot of time away. Right. And it kind of, you told me like 15 months out of the year, there was one time where he was working. Right. And balancing that with a family and having success with that, or the trials, it's kind of a personal and vulnerable question,
Yeah,
but I
it
think a
is.
lot of people would want to understand that. I would personally.
That's one of the regrets that I have is
Okay.
my kids kind of grew up with me
Yeah.
not there a lot,
Yeah.
and I missed a lot.
Yeah.
But my family
We turned out okay though.
Yeah. Well, I love that you're working
My
together. I think
family-
it's awesome.
understood what I did
Yeah.
and supported me
Yeah.
so that I could do this.
Yeah.
We had our trials, but
Of course.
if you don't have your support team, then it's hard to do it
Yeah.
because of that. I love what I do, and they supported that. And now that we've kind of brought it home, we have it now where we can still do it and be more of a
It's a
family.
family business.
And we're doing less and less away from home,
Yeah.
trying to do more locally.
Yeah. How did you go about that day to day? Was it a communication thing? Obviously you said that they're supportive. Like, what did you have to do personally? Because I want to think about it as if someone like myself was like going down this route, knowing that this is it's going to be something that's hard, that I've got to deal with. How do you deal with it and manage it successfully?
It was hard for me to deal with. I could throw my mind and my energy into my work, but after that, you have all those thoughts of home and what I should be doing, what I'm not doing, the things you need to do, and you get feeling really down.
Yeah.
But phone calls, support, just knowing that they're always going to be there and support you. And we finally got to the point where we had enough equipment that we'd actually start our own and not be working for somebody else.
Awesome.
And then Ryan coming in at that time and taking over and just making it even bigger.
Yeah.
And like I said, we finally got to that point where we can do it at home. I would suggest, when Ryan was wanting to get in, I remember I told him, I'll help you all I can, but you go get a college degree first. So if anything happens, you've got something to fall back on,
Yeah.
which he did.
Yeah.
But, and then we got him in where we could, when we could.
Yeah.
And so emotionally, having my son with me is,
It's
I
huge.
can't explain an emotion
Yeah.
for that. It's phenomenal.
Right.
but it's hard.
I'm sure. Yeah, that would be difficult. And yeah, obviously missing things and not being at, birthdays and I'm sure anniversaries and things like that.
Yeah, that and when he graduated,
Yeah.
I was off somewhere
Yeah.
doing a film. And film, the bad thing about film is sometimes it's getting a little better in some ways, but back in the earlier days, if you weren't on set when they needed you, they'd just get somebody else. You don't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
So there's no, I need to take a week off, go home and, no, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And they usually were very minimal on their crews because they're not spending money they want to spend. So you don't have an extra guy to let guys go. So that was the hard part of me not being able to go and do those things. So that was difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then Ryan, with you, like similar path, being gone a lot.
Well, I'm still hoping to find a girl one day who likes me enough that I can get married and have kids, and then I'll figure it all out. But
yeah, but like you're building. It seems like you've built a team. You've built a company that's maybe allows you to be the boss, and maybe do you get a pick
I
and
have
choose?
stepped back.
That's cool.
Film sets are minimum 12-hour days.
Yeah.
With prep and wrap, you're looking at 14 to 16-hour days sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes more.
6 days a week or more.
Right.
And I spent my 20s and 30s doing nothing but working.
Yeah.
And on the road most of that time. And I look back on it, and my health isn't great. I'm overweight, and part of that's because I spent 20 years on the road living out of hotels with no kitchen and having to eat out for every meal and working 80 hours a week, and no time for a life or gym or dating or any of that. And so there was definitely sacrifices.
Yeah.
But now we're at a point where the company is doing well enough, and I have guys who are good enough at what they do working with us that we can I can send my teams out to set. We're still there on all the major days, but if they're doing a rain job, or if they need some fog, or if they need a campfire, it's very rare now I'll go out for those days. I'll be at the shop, and I'll be either helping build and design equipment, or taking care of the books, or
coordinating 5 shows at the same time.
Yeah, we'll do up to 5 or 6 shows at the same time here in Utah, because we're the only ones in the state.
Yeah.
And so every show that comes in needs something from us usually.
Jeez.
But I'm on set a lot less over the last 5 years than I used to be, and I kind of enjoy it. Now I actually have time to go hit the gym, and I've actually made some friends, which is a very weird experience for me.
You guys put a lot of time into this career.
Yeah.
Well, average movie day at 12 hours a day, like he says, 6 days a week, and on location, sometimes 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And
When we were on Battleship, I think we arrived in Baton Rouge in April, and we worked every day up till the 3-day weekend in the beginning of September. What's that? Labor Day, Memorial Day? I always get the two mixed up.
I can't tell you.
So from April to September.
Yeah.
And that 3-day weekend, the boss is finally like, okay, guys, you can have this 3-day weekend off.
Oh my goodness.
And that was our first day off on
Yeah.
that movie. We worked 7 days a week from April till September.
And that's the whole crew. Like
yeah,
the majority of the people.
Yeah,
that
because we were shooting during the week, but we were prepping on weekends.
That's true. Yeah.
We just never had a chance to
Have to
take
go-
a breather.
yeah, I had to find a hotel room that had a laundromat or a washer dryer in it because you couldn't even go do your laundry. I mean, you got to take care of all that.
Actually, we
while
ended
you're
up
working.
arranging a laundry service for the effects crew.
Oh, that's true. We
And
did.
she
that's
came in
right.
every.
Wow.
I think we gave her clothes on Friday, and she brought them back on Saturday or something.
Yeah.
But no one
That's
had time to go to the
amazing.
laundromat.
Yeah. There's just
Yeah,
one.
that's right. We did. I forgot about that.
Yep.
There's just one overarching question to all that. Why?
Yeah.
There's multiple reasons.
Yes.
One was Battleship was actually a huge effects movie, so there was a lot going on. So we had tons to do, but we were limited by budget, so they only brought so many guys out. Kind of one of the more old school Hollywood mentalities. It used to be different states didn't have film crews.
Yeah.
All the film crews were out in New York or LA, and they'd go on location, they'd bring the crew with them. And that's changed over the years, especially with tax incentives, to where different states have develop their own film crews and their own infrastructure, which most of them are just every bit as good as LA is.
Yeah.
But anyone with that old school mentality, when they were on the road to make money.
Yeah.
They wanted that 6th and 7th day pay. They wanted the overtime.
Yeah.
And so they relished the opportunity to work as many days as they could, because if they're going to be away from their family and if they're going to be away from their home and everything else, they're going to come home loaded, with money, some alcohol too. But
I'm sure.
So that was kind of the mentality. If you were on the road, you worked.
Yeah.
And you didn't do anything else.
Yeah.
And you made as much money as you could. So when you went home, you could take a few months off and you
Yeah.
could enjoy.
Yeah.
And
When you did have time off, you slept.
I'm
it was
sure.
exhausting.
I'm sure.
It was
Yeah.
just
You
exhausting.
make all this money to go home and sleep and
And then even worse,
get
going to
back up and-
TV hours. I don't know how many years of TV down in New Mexico.
yeah.
Every Monday you had like a 8 a.m. call. Every Friday you had like a 4 to 6 p.m. call, and you'd work until the sun came up Saturday morning. And that way they could fit day and night shots all within the filming of one episode.
Yeah.
And so you would have to turn yourself around from nights to days over every weekend. Monday you were back on days again. And I did that for 5 years. And you have no internal clock. It destroys you physically.
Yeah.
You know.
What I actually meant by the question why? No, I think that was amazing, and I'm glad you went into that. Is why have you guys done this for so long, and why have you continued to do it? I just want to dive into the love of it, honestly, but just why? You know what I mean? That's a lot of trials.
I did it because I love doing it,
Yeah.
and after so long, you get the reputation, everything. You just continue to do that
Yeah.
for people or whatever. And I do a lot of stuff for my church,
Yeah.
and so it led me to a lot of that. But it's a hard one.
Right, and I was going to say there's part of it that is going back to the question about how do you keep the show, how do you get so many opportunities, right? It sounds like just being available and becoming that person and having that reputation, especially in Utah, being the Roundys. Like, you guys are the ones they call,
Yeah.
and you want to continue that legacy. And it's kind of cool to think about what you've started with and now what you've built and how that's now supporting other families and things like that. It's got to be cool, pretty fulfilling looking back. Obviously there's trials and there's tough times, but like, I didn't, even before I met you guys, I didn't know you, but you hear the name Roundy. And I think that you guys have obviously affected a ton of people in Utah, a ton of people around the nation, worldwide even. Mm-hmm. And so that's got to be pretty fulfilling. Is there a bigger purpose to this that you could speak to?
Just to take care of my family is my main purpose. I mean, it's all about family, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why I keep going and doing what I do. And like I said, I'm supposed to be retired, and now I feel like I'm detired.
Yeah. You're tired, but you're still working.
I want to stay busy. I want to keep doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I do it for the love of my family.
Yeah.
And the things that I love to do.
Yeah.
Is why I do it. So.
Can I ask a little bit for you to give a young person advice on life in general, just based on what your experience has been?
That's a hard one. It's a hard life. It's a very fulfilling life.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of rewards and some not so rewards, but it's a hard life. If you want to do this, you better be prepared for it.
Yeah.
And then you need to get a lot of training. You need to be a machinist, a welder, pyrotechnician. You need to study. You need to understand all this stuff. You need to get all those engineering.
Yeah.
Everything we make, we engineer it
Right.
from somewhere, and it's usually us.
Yeah.
But that comes from experience as well. So get all that information you can gather, and then try it and see if you want to do it. It's hard, and for all the training you have to get there, the pay's not that good for everything you know.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Should have been an accountant.
Full circle. Dang it. But what a boring, I mean, I shouldn't say boring because people are accountants and they love it, but like the experience that you guys have had versus sitting behind a desk, right? Like you can't, there's no price on that.
I have a distant relative who's kind of a starving artist.
Yeah.
He's an artist, and that's his career and everything. And he has good years and bad years, but it's a tough path.
Yeah.
And one day we were talking, and he's like, "You don't know how good you guys have it." And I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, I don't know. Tell me.
He says, "You and your dad, you would be hard pressed to find someone in Western civilization who hasn't seen your work."
Wow.
He said, "Do you have any idea how much I would kill for that kind of exposure?"
Wow.
I was like, "Well, they don't know our name, but yeah, you're probably right."
Yeah, 100%. That's what
I
was
never
amazing.
thought
That's
of it
pretty
like that
cool. It's a
either,
very
yeah.
cool way to look at it.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing, and that's why I'm so glad you guys are on here, because I want to push this to a point that people recognize all the things that you guys are doing behind the scenes. And are there awards for things that you guys do? Have you had any big awards or accomplishments that have come your way?
Not really.
That's
No,
just
I've been
the
on shows,
unsung
been
heroes.
nominated. I've been on shows that's won,
Yeah,
and let's do that. It's all about
The
combined
department
effort.
head gets the award, not
Yeah.
the crew.
that's the
Yeah.
politics of it.
It's
Yeah,
the team. Of course, Bert, when we did that, when we went on Curious Case of Benjamin Button, he brought the statue to work so everybody could enjoy it.
The
Cool.
Oscar, and let
Because
everyone take a picture of
He
it.
says
But still,
none of this would have been possible without you.
yeah,
So everything we do is a team effort. So everything, well, in life is a team effort, really.
right.
But what we do is if you don't have the team around you, you're not going to do all this great stuff.
Totally.
So just learn to get along with people, understand, get that training you need to understand what you do and why you do it,
Yeah,
and then you're going to be good at it.
yeah. What a cool phrase, like, to think about. Like, he's probably right. There's probably not a lot of people that have not seen something you guys have worked on. That's pretty fulfilling, I'd have to imagine.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So then kind of pushing that over to you, advice for a young person in the position you're at, owning the business, running it, maybe wanting to go down this route, or just, any general advice to someone that is in this industry.
Basically, be likable.
Yeah.
No one wants to work with someone who's a jerk.
Yeah.
Learn everything you can. I'm always encouraging our guys. Anyone who doesn't know how to weld, I try to pair them up with a welder and have them learn how to weld. Anyone who doesn't know how to machine, I try to pair them up with someone who's doing something on the mills and the lathes. And if they don't know how to use the CNC equipment, which is all computers, and I'm still learning that stuff. I try to make sure that whenever they're operating, that one of the guys who doesn't know it is there learning how to run it. Because the more you know and the more you learn, the more capable you'll be in the future, and the more you'll be able to present solutions to problems that films have. And that's why I keep the shop open to employees, and that's why we try to encourage new things like the blacksmithing, and trying to you never stop learning, you never stop growing. My mom's very much of the opinion that in life you're in a state of progression or you're in a state of atrophy, and there's no in between.
Yeah.
And we try to always be in a state of progression. We try to always have some kind of ridiculous project or something we're trying to build or something we're trying to design or something we're trying to learn, and it never stops.
And that's why you're still working. Always progressing.
Yep.
That's like my favorite word, progress, right? And I think, you're living it by just continuing to work even though you're retired. It's like as soon as you stop feeling that, it's really like a hard way to live. You want to be progressing and find opportunities to grow. And I think you offering these workshops for people, you're just giving them experience that they may not know they need 10 years from now. That just comes up on a whim. That's like, hey, we need this. And they're like, I can do that because back in the day, I got some really cool advice from the Roundys, and here I am.
Yeah.
So you're spreading the love. You're teaching the next generation. Where do you guys, I'll let either of you take this, but where do you guys see yourselves going in the next 10 years in the business in general? Like what's happening with the
Probably
changes in the
coffin
industry?
For me,
What was that?
it's probably a coffin for me.
That's a little morbid.
Yeah. I'll
10
just
years?
leave that one.
No.
We're retired on our own island in the Caribbean would be nice,
Yeah.
but that's not in the stars.
What's your goals for the business and like the industry as where you're headed?
I don't think either of us will ever be out of the industry.
Yeah.
I think it's something we'll be a part of for our entire lives.
Yeah.
But you know, you don't have to do the backbreaking, exhausting stuff for your whole life.
Yeah.
My dad gets to kind of consult on a lot of stuff we do. We have things where we can come to him and say, hey, have you come across this before? Do you have any ideas? And I'm now doing that same thing with my people.
Cool.
And in 10 years, I hope I have some very, very capable guys who I can have running everything, and I just, you know, give them advice where it's needed, and that's the best I can hope for, really.
Yeah. And does that, like, knowing that this is your life for the next, you know, the rest of your life?
Oh, we're in it for life.
Yeah.
There's no getting out of it. We've got way too
You're-
much money invested to ever do anything else.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of time and memories and
So cool.
things. I look back on my life sometimes in awe
Yeah.
because in the moment you don't realize that.
Yeah.
And then years later, when you look back, you think, wow, I did that. Oh, I did that. Oh, I worked on that. I did this. I mean, it makes me proud and humble at the same time.
Yeah.
to
So
be
many
able
cool
to have done all
experiences.
this stuff. So,
Yeah. It's amazing. And that's why I feel like we could sit here for so long and talk about every single one of those films. And I'm sure there's stories and experiences from each of them. So
We definitely have stories.
I'm sure. Yeah. And I always tell everyone, like, I'm excited to, like, see where, you know, obviously your career keeps going, but it sounds like you're consulting mostly now. And maybe one day we'll have you guys back and talk about what the next 5 years have held for you and, you know, all the cool experiences you had. And I hope that one day I can work with you guys too, as I grow my career and need some special effects.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Love to have you.
I would love to blow stuff up for you again.
No kidding, right? So we'll just wrap it up there. I really appreciate you guys coming out, making the trip, finding some time to be on here and just spreading the knowledge. I mean, you guys have really, I think you guys have done more than anyone I've ever had on this podcast.
thank you.
And so it's really cool to see. So we'll just end it there with, this is your guest, Mike and Ryan Roundy. Thank you guys for being on the podcast.
Thank you for
Thank you for
asking
having us.
Cool.
It was a pleasure.